Got another plugin review for you guys today. We're going to be checking out the new compressor by Waves called the RS124. You're probably thinking, Bobby, that's a lot of numbers and gibberish. What does that mean for me? Well, let me tell you what it means for you. I did some digging on this compressor to see what it was because I've never heard of it before. It was used on a lot of iconic records from like the Beatles, from Abbey Road Studios, from the 50s through the 70s. So it's supposed to be really, really good on a bass guitar or anything where you want it to be really smooth but still have a lot of compression. It's known for being very velvety sounding. And all I can think of is like that velvet cake, which I don't know how that would sound. I'm excited to dive in, showing you guys all the different features of this plugin, and we're going to really take it out of its element and put it into some difficult mixes that are really, really heavy with a lot of like powerful drums. And I think I found some cool settings that are going to blow your mind, so make sure you stick to the end and check it out. My name is Bobby Balo. I'm the mixing and mastering engineer at Raytown Productions, and I also have a pretty cool community you should check out on Facebook. It's called the Home Studio Fast Track. A lot of awesome producers, musicians, music creators in that group, and it's a place to go if you're trying to level up the quality of your music. Let's dive into all the features of this plugin. First things first, we have two different versions. We have the Studio and the Cutter unit types. The Studio has more of a smooth, rounded, kind of like a squashed sound to it. And the Cutter has a slower attack time. And as you'll see, it is like crazy slow. So this unit was typically found in Abbey Road's cutting unit because it's a lot more forgiving. It's slower release, slower attack. It just is more gentle. Better for a mastering type situation. So the Super Fuse is actually a button you can push. This links the attack and release times, which gives it a really, really aggressive character that I personally love. And the recovery is essentially just the release time of the compressor. Input control is, as you imagine, that's the input level. It's a little bit misleading because anything above 2, the input is not really one-to-one to the output. So for every 1 dB you're adding, you're really only adding a half to the output. It's kind of a weird thing. It's stepped differently as you get louder. And I guess that's how the original unit sounded. So that's what you get. Output attenuator is basically just the output level. Something interesting is there's this auto hold feature, and I didn't know what this was all about at first, but it's kind of a cool thing because this plugin has such long release times and it sounds really cool when you're doing like 18 dB of gain reduction. What can happen if you have an aggressive song or loud transients is it'll be holding the gain reduction for a long time, and then you have this really, really sharp, loud, like snare hit or something, and that'll kind of give it a thump. And what this auto hold does is it helps to prevent any of that loud pop sound. So that's a really, really cool feature to have. We have some more options hidden right here under the Expand tab. And this gives us access to some sidechain filters. So if we don't want the compressor to react to anything below, let's say 200 hertz, we can do that. We just dial this in. So this is really nice if you're putting this on a bass guitar that you still want to have like a big low end, or like a kick drum on drums. This way you can have the compressor not react to the sub information from like a kick drum, but still like squeeze the drums in a musical way. They have a mix knob, so this allows it to run as a parallel compressor. If you want to have a little bit of the natural dynamics, you can just dial this back, and then you introduce some of that glue to help thicken the sound and make it sound really full. And then they have a few other cool compressor types, so you can either operate in stereo mode, dual mono, or mid-side, which is kind of cool. You can have separate sidechain filters for your mid and side information. Drums is the first thing that comes to mind. Typically, kicks are centered, so if you put this on the drum bus, you could, in theory, have the sidechain filter really high in the middle channel, so it's not being affected by the kick drum low end, and then the sides, you can have it almost completely off. So that's an overview of the plugin. Let's jump into seeing how it sounds on drums first, and then we'll check it out on a bass guitar. So they say this compressor has like a really silky, smooth sound to it, but I like to get kind of crazy when it comes to compression on my drums. I try to find the most aggressive setting possible for this, and this is what I came up with. check out how big the drums get when you have this compressor on your drum room bus. I'm going to give you full context with the mix, and I'll just bypass this on and off so you can hear how much it's adding to the drums. So let's check that out again, this time with just listening to the drums. I love it. I normally put like an 1176 on my drum bus, or Soundtoys has a cool plugin called Devil Lock, but sometimes it has too much like of this mid-range thing that I don't like. This is like the best of all the different plugins I use. So it sounds full, it's pumpy, it's aggressive, but it doesn't get super harsh, and it's so wide. So that's something I'm really excited about. So next up is bass. So I'm using low-key bass for this track, and then that is just the DI. It's a MIDI bass, and then that runs into this Mammoth distortion plugin. This is by Aurora DSP. These guys are awesome. If you're looking for a bass distortion, definitely check that out. It's super affordable, and it sounds killer. Then I would then go into like an optical compressor because their attack times are a little bit looser. It's a little bit squishier kind of feel, so it glues the bass really nicely. I feel like bass is going to be a home run with the RS124. Gone ahead and kind of dialed in some settings that I like, and then we'll kind of go through and play with all the different tones. So you can hear it just kind of like grabs onto the bass and just like squeezes it a little bit tighter, and it also brings out a little bit more of the character of the bass, but it's very fluid. It doesn't feel like there's a compressor on it. And if I'm reading these meters correctly, we're putting like a tremendous amount of gain reduction. I mean, it's set to gain reduction mode and it's saying -18. Like, for it to be that smooth with 18 decibels of gain reduction is crazy to me. The release times on this unit are so slow. As soon as I stop playing the music, you can watch the meter return to 0. That's basically the release characteristic of this compressor. If we put it on the slowest setting on studio mode, look at how long it takes for this thing to come back. Look at it slowly go. It's still increasing. I mean, the release time on the slow setting is like 10 seconds, something like that. And it's the fastest setting is still like second, maybe. You know, a lot of the compressors I use and work with are FET, so they're done in like 10, 20 milliseconds. And something even crazier is if you go to the cutter mode, this is even slower. So I think this would sound pretty cool on the master channel if you're just trying to gel the track together a little bit, or on any of these group buses. Look at how slow this releases. Here it goes. Yep, that's right. It's going. That is crazy. Like, this is almost on the order of minutes, right? And if we turn it all the way up, look at there, then it's speeding up a little bit. The fastest setting is still like a 2-second release time. I've never seen a compressor like that. So let's play with some of these settings and see what it's doing to the bass. So the slow release really kind of pushes the bass back. It's gluing it's adding a lot of the smooth weight to the bass. And then the fast release gives it more of like an aggressive feel to it, right? We're getting a lot more texture out of the bass. Let's try this superfuse setting. And honestly, I kind of like that. To me, it feels a little bit better. They have this expand button. See, Waves they have all sorts of cool little things hiding here. And then this mix knob is essentially just your parallel compression knob. So if you like what it's doing to the bass, but you still want to bring out some more of like the natural like groove of the bass, you can just, you know, pull this mix knob back a little bit. Right there. Now we have a nice balance of that, the attack. It's awesome. The only thing I wish this had, and this is probably because I do a lot of mastering work for my clients, is I wish there was a way to link the input control and the output attenuator. You could just turn it up and down with one knob and really hear the character of the compression. But that being said, it still sounds pretty cool. Man, you can really hear it in the mix, how much it cleans up the really subby, like loose low end of the bass. It's crazy how much it changed. Listen to this again. Man, that's pretty cool. If you want to learn more about compression, how compressors work, how to dial them in for your song, I've actually put together a guide just for you. You can download it. There's a link in the description, and be sure to check that out because I think you will find it very helpful. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button, let other people know that this video is helpful, and then hit that subscribe button so you do not miss a single video. We have new videos coming out every single week. If you have questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. I check my comments. I try to get back to every single person. Go grab a trial of the RS124 and try it out on your mixes. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.